Ανοιχτό άφησε το ενδεχόμενο οι Ηνωμένες Πολιτείες να σταματήσουν τις προσπάθειες διαμεσολάβησης για τον τερματισμό του πολέμου στην Ουκρανία ο Αμερικανός υπουργός Εξωτερικών Μάρκο Ρούμπιο. Αν δεν είναι δυνατό να μπει ένα τέλος στον πόλεμο της Ουκρανίας, τότε θα πρέπει να προχωρήσουμε. Δεν είναι δικός μας πόλεμος, δεν τον ξεκινήσαμε, δήλωσε ο Ρούμπιο σε συνέντευξή του σε δημοσιογράφους λίγο πριν αναχωρήσει από το Παρίσι τη Μεγάλη Πέμπτη.
To try to figure out very soon, and I'm talking about a matter of days, not a matter of weeks, whether or not this is the war that can be ended. If it can, we're prepared to do whatever we can to facilitate that and make sure that it happens, that it ends in a durable and just way. If it's not possible, if we're so far apart that this is not going to happen, then I think the president's probably at a point where he's going to say, well, we're done. You know, we'll do what we can on the margins. We'll be ready to help whenever you're ready to have peace. But we're not going to continue with this endeavor for weeks and months on end. So we need to determine very quickly now, and I'm talking about a matter of days, whether or not this is doable over the next few weeks. If it is, we're in. If it's not, then we have other priorities to focus on as well.
Mr. Secretary, Michael Gordon, Wall Street Journal. The State Department said yesterday that a framework had been presented to all sides, to the Ukrainians, to the European officials, and to the Russians. What does the framework say? What issues does it resolve?
I'm not going to tell you what the framework says, because when you start negotiating these things through the media and so forth, they fall apart. And it's a broad framework. It's a framework that gets us into a position to see, look, there are going to be differences. There's no one saying this can be done in 12 hours. But we want to see how far apart it is and whether those differences can even be narrowed, if it's even possible to get movement within the period of time we have in mind. And so we've talked about outlines with both sides. I thought we had positive meetings yesterday. Obviously, the Ukrainians have to go back home. They have to run it by their president. They have to take into account, their views on all of this, and we hope to hear back from them very soon. But we need to figure out here now, within a matter of days, whether this is doable in the short term. Because if it's not, then I think we're just going to move on from our perspective. The president feels very strongly about that. He has dedicated a lot of time and energy to this, and there are a lot of things going on in the world right now that we need to be focused on. So this is important, but there are a lot of other really important things going on that deserve just as much, if not more, attention. So we want to do everything we can to be helpful. We had a good meeting yesterday. I thought the French, the British, the Germans were very constructive, were very helpful. We thank them for hosting this, and hopefully we'll have another meeting early next week at some point. We'll have some more definitive answers about how close we are to actually making progress. But this isn't going to go on forever.
Mr. Secretary, Léon Bruno, Agence France-Presse, in your conversations yesterday with the Europeans and the Ukrainians, I'm sure you spoke about security guarantees for Ukraine in case of a ceasefire. Could you give us a sense of what that could look like? And is the U.S. ready to back up any eventual European reassurance force for Ukraine?
Well, that gets into a level of specifics that we're not ready to discuss publicly yet. Obviously, the term security guarantees came up because they come up in every meeting. We've heard about it. And it's not an illegitimate desire. Every sovereign nation on earth has a right to defend itself. Ukraine will have a right to defend itself and to enter into whatever agreements it wants to enter into on a bilateral basis with different countries and so forth. So, I mean, it was discussed, but and that'll have to be part of any sort of conversation. Ukraine, in order for there to be peace, we recognize that Ukraine has to feel like it has the ability to defend itself from a future attack from anyone. Every country in the world has that right. But so I think everyone recognizes that Ukraine's ability to defend itself is going to be a part. It's its right as a country and will be a part of any agreement. But we're not working yet on that level of specificity. I think that's something we can fix and solve in a way that's acceptable to everyone. I think we have bigger challenges that we need to figure out whether it's even possible within the short term. I can tell you this. This war has no military solution to it. It really doesn't. It's not going to be decided with... Neither side has some strategic capability to end this war quickly. And so what we're talking about here is avoiding thousands and thousands of people from dying over the next year. We're trying to avoid that. We saw what happened last weekend with a missile strike in Sumy, where people died on Palm Sunday. We're just going to see more like that on both sides. We're going to see more of that. We're trying to prevent it. But we're not going to continue to fly all over the world and do meeting after meeting after meeting if no progress is being made. So if they're serious about peace, either side or both, we want to help. If it's not going to happen, then we're just going to move on. We're going to move on to other topics that are equally, if not more important in some ways, to the United States.